Hi, I'm Bea and I'm part of the Indie Projects, where we love to challenge ourselves constantly. The last year has been a massive change for us. We've done so many things, converting things, building things we'd never done before, and I spent the last month turning this caravan from its original features into this updated version that's like, it feels like an apartment in here. It's an amazing tiny house that anybody can live in, and I can't wait to show you what I've done to change it. So in the first part of the caravan I'm going to show you, we've got a living room / kitchen area. Above here we had this really nice little glass cabinet thing that I did want to keep in its original form. The only thing I really changed about it was the handles. I kept the original glass in and stuff because it just goes with the rest of the minimal theme of this caravan. And down here I really wanted to basically have trinkets and stuff that would just give it a really homely vibe. Initially I was thinking behind here to have like a really crazy pattern or a really loud colour, but I remembered that I had this beautiful vintage tea set from Theo's parents, so I decided to instead have that on the shelf, which actually is more than enough colour for this area. Below it I've got books on here that are just multicoloured and beautiful. Who doesn't love books? I love them. I have too many and I read them all the time. That's not even talking about my Kindle. And then on top of the actual fridge, this is something that came to me when I first thought about doing the caravan renovation. I just thought the sides are nice, but I'd like to change them up. Maybe, I don't know what I could do. And this was just super simple. This is basically sticky back cork. And it came in a roll. I got it from the local DIY store. And it just stuck straight on top of the old counter here, and it just really modernises it and looks wonderful. I really like the cosy vibe that it does, and cork's brilliant because it's waterproof and heat proof. And then below there we've got the fridge. I did actually sand back the front of the fridge. This is the original woodwork that the whole caravan was like, and I sanded it back. It's not real wood. A lot of people got a bit upset. They thought, how could you paint over real wood? It's all laminate fake wood. So I sanded it back just to make it a little bit paler to fit in with the rest of the colour scheme. And now we're in the living room, which is a short hop, skip and a jump away from the fridge. Basically this is the living room and the bedroom, and you might have noticed that there's an awful lot of white going on in this caravan. I did document the entire renovation on our YouTube channel, and when I first got the white out, a lot of people were pretty shocked with the fact that I was choosing to go completely white in here, but it has opened the space up amazingly. If you use light colours in a small space, everybody knows that opens it up really nicely, and that's why I've got other smaller features darker to really bring them in together. So up here we've got a lot of white going on. I painted the ceiling, I painted the walls, I painted all of the cupboards, and they just look wonderful. I absolutely love what I've done with the cupboards here. This was a bit of an issue actually. I wasn't sure what to do with the handles because the original ones were silver and they were a bit kind of early 2000s, not really to my kind of taste. They had like edges on there and I just wasn't that keen on them. So I wanted to spray them gold and then just have them on, but they didn't look quite right. So I went to Pinterest, everybody's best friend, and thought, what could I do to change the handles? And I came up with this idea, and I wrapped all of the handles with some twine, glued them together, and then covered them with some varnish, which was actually told to me afterwards, after people saw the video of the way I'd done the handles. Their comments were brilliant because I'd never thought of that, and putting varnish on them has actually made them a lot sturdier. And just basically, if anything gets on there, you can easily wipe them clean and they're going to last forever. And I absolutely love these handles. They're everywhere and they just really add a nice touch to it. And then also, in the cupboard, I've got the paint that I use to protect it. So, let me just get them out. I'll shut that. When you're painting on this type of surface, laminate, PVC, plastic, etc., you're going to need a primer, and I've had a lot of people asking me what I use. Now I am in Portugal, so it's not the same as the UK, but basically you're going to need a primer that's for PVC, laminate. This one is exactly for that, and I went over every surface with that. I then used a standard white paint for everything else before protecting it with some furniture lacquer. This is designed for chalk paint, which we did use in our van conversion, so I know how hard wearing it actually is, so I went over all the surfaces with this. So further into the living room we've got the sofa, which is also the bed in here as well, and I kept costs down by keeping the original foam in here because a top tip is caravan cushions are actually incredibly comfortable, and we actually use them in our van conversion as well for the seating area. For these cushions, they had a pretty crazy loud pattern on them that didn't really go with the colour scheme I was planning on in here. And I'm not a queen at reupholstering. I've never actually reupholstered anything in my life before. So actually, I grabbed some curtains from IKEA and wrapped them up in that, and it worked really well. I did document that in one of our videos, so there'll be links to all of the caravan renovation videos in the description, so if you want to know how I did bits and bobs to this, check them out. And the grey is really nice, it just goes with the rest of the living room and just keeps all the other colours popping basically. And another feature about this caravan renovation was that we didn't want to spend tons of money. The caravan itself was actually in a really good condition already. We just wanted to modernise it basically. So that meant that we could use all of the original furnishings, which is fantastic. The original curtains were actually a really dark velvet red, which whilst they were wonderful at keeping the light out, it meant that when they were shut, they kept the light out. And we wanted this to be really nice and airy, so I got another pair of beautiful curtains from IKEA. In fact, we have had someone say this looks like an IKEA home, which is not an insult, thank you for that. And I basically just covered them over the original backing of the curtains here, so that was great. It cost me hardly anything, and I used my own battery-powered miniature sewing machine, which, whilst not the best, it did the job and it was a lot faster than hand sewing. So all of the curtains have just been upcycled, I suppose would be the best word for those, and I really like the fact that they let the light through but keep the sun out. So we didn't have to structurally change anything about the caravan. It was in really good condition, and that was really great because it meant that we could use the original lights that were still in here. We've got a light up here, lights under there. Oh, this feels a bit like a airport, you know, when you're on a plane. Exits here and there. So yeah, we've got the original light there, lights under there, and I also added some fairy lights on here just because who doesn't like fairy lights? And they're hanging off an antler, a reindeer antler that we actually picked up on our month-long hike in Sweden in 2015. So it's lovely to have that touch in here. Adding our personal touches into the caravan really does make it feel like a home in here. So the lighting is brilliant. I'm not going to turn it on because it'll make me look awful. The lighting's great right now. So yeah, that's how we kept it. So in the front of the living room, I've kept the same theme of the sticky back cork on the table here with some cork coasters, and just a little bit of trivia here. Cork is actually one of Portugal's biggest exports, so it's nice to have some cork in here going with the Portugal theme. So I really like the warmth that it gives off in this area at the front of the caravan, and there's just space here in the drawers to keep bits and bobs and all of our other bits and bobs because we have a lot of bits and bobs. We didn't really have to change anything in the TV/control panel area of the caravan. All we had to do was paint this wall white and put all the stuff back on there. It does have solar, which we do talk about in the first caravan tour that we had of this, but the solar panel basically charges the lights, all the 12 volt, the motor mover and cool things like that. So this is just repainted white basically. So back in the centre of the caravan here, we've got a massive wardrobe that actually, funnily enough, I did paint blue to begin with the rest of the blue theme that we had, but it was just too much. It just didn't look good, so I repainted it white. It's got lots of bits and bobs in here, leftovers from the renovation, should I say. And the mirror is great because we still haven't put a mirror up in our van, so I do actually use the mirror in this caravan, which is just wonderful. Further down, we've got the Truma heater, which has been an absolute dream because the nights here are still pretty chilly. We don't keep it on at night when my mum was staying because it's gas, it's a bit dangerous, you don't know what's going to happen. So we had that on in the evenings, which was very nice and comfortable. And then the floor, we at a last minute decision decided to put a really cheap laminate floor down that has absolutely changed the game for this caravan. It opened it up so much more. The original carpet was a dark green, which whilst it wasn't horrible, everything stuck to it. It was impossible to clean, so we just put this laminate down. It took only a couple of hours, and I think it was only like 1.5 packs because there's hardly any floor space, and it makes it way easier to clean, as boring as that sounds, and also just opens the space up even more because it's so much lighter. And we put some nice neutral tone rugs on there as well that Gingy absolutely loves to sit on as well, so I'm really happy that we changed the floor. And last but not least, we've got the kitchen area. I really didn't have to do too much to this, but it does look drastically different from the original because of the wonderful blue block colour that we've got along the bottom. And I'm really happy that I spoke to Theo whilst I was mid-painting this, because originally I'd only painted the actual cupboard doors themselves and left the rest white. And it didn't look that great, but I was adamant it was fine. Theo came to have a look and he's like, no, you really need to paint the back. And I was just like, I don't know, but honestly, it made it so much better. And the handles really pop with the blue, which is just totally wonderful. All of the paint surfaces in here, along with the rest of the caravan, has been covered with a protective lacquer, because I know I had a lot of people who were worried about cooking, splashing stuff going on the paintwork. But like I said, my mom stayed in here for a week. We cooked in here every single day, and any spillages were easily wiped up and didn't damage the paintwork at all. So that's been really great, because it would have been heartbreaking if all my hard work had been for nothing. So the top cupboards are white like the rest of the caravan are in the living room area. We kept the original kitchen counter. At first I wanted to change it to a darker one, but actually the pale faux marble really did grow on me, so I decided to keep it in the end. And then one final touch that I did to the caravan kitchen area was to put in some tiles. Now these ones were left over from our boat renovation that we did, because we did used to live on a narrow boat and we moved our wood burner. And back then, I think it was 2016, it must have been 2016, we got these tiles, we had a load left over, we kept them on the front of the boat. And we brought them back over to Portugal with us when we moved over here, and I'm so happy we did, because the colours work so nicely in the kitchen. They provide a wonderful splashback, and it's just a nice little touch for it. And now the final piece of the kitchen area is the cooker. This is insane. It's literally like a normal cooker you get in a normal sized house, and it's incredibly clean. It looked brand new when we first got it, so I'm trying to keep it in tip-top condition to honour the previous owners who really took a lot of care of the kitchen area. So it's great to have a 4-burner hob, full oven, grill, and there's even storage space underneath that as well. There's a lot of storage going on in this caravan, and the kitchen has a lot of storage as well. And there is a bathroom in here, but it's the one spot that I did absolutely nothing to, because it worked totally fine and you don't really spend any time in there. So here it is. Glorious. It's got a shower, it's got a toilet, it's got everything you would need, but we don't really use that because we've got our own beautiful outhouse that we've been building. There's videos about that as well. A gorgeous cabin that has a wonderful composting toilet in it, so we don't need to use this. So thank you for joining me on a tour of this caravan. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was a challenging project, and it does show you what can be done in such a short space of time. So leave any comments below if you've got any questions or you'd like to know more. Like I said, we did video a lot of the renovations, so we've got videos about that. I'll put them in the description, and they are on our channel, the Indie Projects. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I will see you on the next video. Head over to theindyprojects.com/shop and check out our new merchandise. Join us on Patreon for exclusive content, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.